Today's sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the steel capital of the world, Pittsburgh, PA, and Heinz Field. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Carolina Panthers and the Pittsburgh Steelers. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, we look at this Steeler ball club entering play. Now, losers their last time out, so they'll look to make amends here.
And one of the best ways you can do that is to be at home, and they are. They're going to try and ride that home crowd and that wave of emotion to a victory in this one.
On the other side of the field for the visiting Panthers, we're in October now, so everybody should be coming into form, shouldn't they?
They really should, and what you have now is a full routine established about what you want to get done and full focus on the season.
Now a play fake here on first down. Over the middle, that's caught by Adams. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. First carry for Christian McCaffrey. He'll get this to the 40. Sweet little juke in there. Got him some extra yardage. Just what you want on a first down run. Call it 8 yards. And it's 2nd and 2. If these kinds of lanes are available, you have to feel like he's going to have a pretty big game on the ground.
Yeah, you can tell early on he's got a little burst in his step, and that's a big pickup right there on first down.
See if they stay on the ground for 2nd down. This is Newton off the play fake to McCaffrey. Got a man right side. It's McCaffrey. They'll get nothing out of that one, and it's going to lead to a 3rd down. And this offensive unit should have a lot of juice coming off the big output that they had 1 week ago.
Nothing like confidence, is there? When you've played well the week before, you can't wait to get back on the field and do it again.
So 3rd and 2, this quite possibly 4-down territory, though, if they're stopped. They'll try and pick it up with McCaffrey. And not going to be able to push this forward. He runs into a wall right at the line of scrimmage. No gain there on the play, and that's going to leave him with a 4th down. A well-executed blitz, no doubt. Great job by the linebacker. Maybe the quarterback, if he could have seen that, could have audibled there.
Yeah, he needed to be in a different play because that one just meshed perfectly for the defense. All the gaps were filled except for the one the offense really wanted to run through, and that was filled by a big man wanting to make a tackle.
And he made a great tackle. Here's the Panthers punter now. As the first drive of the game stalls out, he's on to punt. And look here, it's an opening drive fake. And the gamble pays off. They get the first. It's a gain of 4 that time. And it'll be first down, Panthers. Wow, what a gutsy call. If you're the defense, opening drive, you just got the stop, or at least you think, and then boom, right back on the field for more.
It had to feel of something that they had planned for all week long. Hey, first drive of the game, let's be aggressive, let's go get them. And now defensively, they've got to be writing notes to themselves. In practice, work on fake punts right out of the gate because that was really unexpected.
Newton on first down. He's going to flip that out to the flat. It's complete. They'll give him a yard on the play, and that'll bring up 2nd down. And the starting defensive unit here for Pittsburgh.
In today's NFL, you're not just looking for height from your cornerbacks. You're looking for length in order to combat the tall wide receivers that they have to play against each and every week. And Artie Burns has all of that. In addition, he has the ability to change direction and make plays on the football in the air. And finally, he's a willing tackler, which is really key for cornerbacks today.
On second down, McCaffrey. And some room to work. That burst good for 20 and a first down. But one unit I know you want to watch is that offensive line. If they keep clearing holes like that, it could be a long night defensively.
No doubt about it, because when they are in sync, as we're seeing so far, when that continuity is there and you can see that they're playing off of each other while controlling the defensive front linebackers, you're exactly right. It could be a very long night for the defense because someone's going to run for some big yardage.
They go play action here on first down. And that is, I think he caught it. He did, but they'll say out of bounds. It'll be incomplete. He was looking for Cooper Kupp there. And it's second down.
I'm going to need some help with this one. How did he miss him? Wide open in the end zone. He's not hurried. He's not hit. And somehow, incomplete?
Yeah.
What happened?
During film study, that's one where he's just going to shake his head, not be able to believe it.
6 points go by the wayside on that one.
Newton going to hand it off to McCaffrey. McCaffrey with a first down and more. And he will take it across for a Panthers touchdown. A great play there with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Panthers take it right down and score on the opening drive. And this is a crew, they've come out flat their last 2 games, both losses, but just judging by the energy level, they look different here early, and that touchdown shows how.
Yeah, it seems to me that touchdown gets them off the treadmill. Because, you know, you've been on the treadmill. I've seen you work out. You go forever and ever, and it tells you you've gone somewhere, but you really have. You're in the same spot. They've exchanged it for an escalator. Still got some hills to climb, but they can get there.
These are good analogies. I run outside sometimes, though. You know, get some fresh air, a little sun on your face.
A little wind in there.
Yeah, that's right. This will be taken about the 12. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. So the Steelers offense getting set for their first drive. And leading them, Charles, their quarterback, their field general. On first down, Adams across the 30 to the 31-yard line. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down. And the big boys up front in the trenches. What do you think of the O-line, Charles?
I love them because this is a group that's so cohesive. They know what the man next to them is going to do at all times, and they operate as a terrific unit.
Clock rolling as we hit the midway point of this first quarter. They'll keep it on the ground. Adams, and he'll be tackled at about the 35. And it's still about 3 yards shy of a first as the 4-yard pickup brings it to third down. And the defense comes onto the field for the first time, and it is a unit that struggled a week ago.
So they're looking for a fast start, Brandon. Can they create a turnover early? Can they take the ball away? That's what this unit's looking for to get back on the beam.
So they run it on second down. Now let's see what third down brings here for the offense.
Now let's go.
They'll drop to throw. Thrown across his body, and it's intercepted. Picked off around the 37. And they take possession of the football and have it at the 36-yard line. And he may want to track down that football because that's interception number 1 on his career.
You're saying that's going into the trophy case?
I'd put it there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. That's when you ask the equipment guys to make sure they hold it for you after the game. But if you play in the back 7 on defense, that's part of your job, finding ways to take the ball away from the other team.
And the Panthers coming out now. It's a quick turnaround for them after the turnover, but the way they moved it on their last drive, they're probably eager to get right back at it.
And you know me and you know my tendencies in this situation. What do I want right now?
Be aggressive.
Be aggressive. Take your shot right here.
On first down, this is McCaffrey. And he'll work his way inside the 30 now to the 28. A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be second down. Well, they're making an effort to get the ground game going tonight. So far, it's working.
I like what we're seeing from the offensive line. They seem to have the leverage going, and they're controlling things and reestablishing the line of scrimmage, moving that defensive front backwards. I also like what the runner's giving us, too. It appears that he's been waiting all day long to get out here and take off.
They stay on the ground. McCaffrey again. And he'll take this into the end zone. Touchdown, Carolina. A great effort there with his second touchdown of the game, number 8 on the season. And the Panthers are able to grow their lead. And a pair of rushing touchdowns now for him in the first quarter.
And I'm liking what I'm seeing from his big guys up front because they're winning the leverage game. How many times we talk about low man wins, right? Move the defensive front aside, create those gaps and holes. He's found his way through them for 2 touchdowns.
And after both of those touchdowns, he went right up to that O-line and hit each of them on the helmet. He recognized it.
That's a smart man. You know what else he should do? If this continues, take them all to dinner.
Footing likely going to be an issue all night here on a rainy night, but this one is good. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This will be taken about the 12. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. The Steelers offense now, they head back onto the field. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board.
No gain on that run, and while this team is down, they're not out of it by any stretch of the imagination. Maybe you just have to think about a different style of running in order to get this guy going.
And he's taken down, but not before getting this across midfield and just shy of the 40. A good pickup there, 26 yards. So here we go, 1st and 10 now.
Let's go! Detroit!
They run the counter. Adams. And he's going to take it down to about the 35 here. The numbers for Adams in last week's game. 18 carries, 56 yards.
And as we discovered in talking with the coaching staff prior to the game, going up against a team that struggled against the run has only emboldened them to run the football more. I expect 40 to 50 carries in this game.
He'll drop to throw, and he rifles one incomplete.
Well, nearly another interception there. That would have been 2 drives in a row with a pick. He's got to start taking care of the ball way better than what we're seeing.
Interestingly, that throw was probably worse than the one he threw the interception on last drive, but fell incomplete. On 3rd down, it's Adams. And he's going to get the first down here as he's taken down at the 22. It's a Pittsburgh first down, a gain of 13.
I have to admit, I'm excited by that play call and the end result because this is a team that's down big early in the first quarter, And a lot of teams will just panic, abandon the playbook, and just start firing the ball all over the place. It's way too early for that. Stick to what works for you.
Down double digits, and we talked about their game plan being both running and passing there. You're right. They're sticking to the game plan, getting the ground game going.
A lot of football left to be played.
Detroit! Detroit!
Now, prior to the snap, we hit all zeros as time has run out on the first quarter of play. They've got a 2nd and 9 to start things out. And here comes play number 6 on this drive. On 2nd down now, Adams. And he's going to lose yardage and be backed up to the 25. So he loses 3 yards there. Now 3rd down.
When you're putting together a formula for winning defense, it's exactly what we're seeing in this game. Controlling the line of scrimmage, attacking, and changing everything so that now they're playing in the offense's backfield. They're playing an excellent game.
And defensively, a dime look here. 6 DBs on 3rd and 12.
No surprise at all.
Looking to throw. Nowhere to turn here, and he's going to go down. Back at about the 37-yard line.
Well, how about that? A dime set on defense. 6 defensive backs. None of them blitz. They're just back there in coverage. Defensive lineman gets the sack.
That's where the O-line, they go to the sideline, they keep their helmets on so the cameras can't find them, right?
Yeah, the cameras can't find them, but I know one thing. The O-line coach will.
Now a field goal forthcoming for the Steelers. And quite a bit of pizza in this box. It's a 53-yard attempt. Now on 4th down, we've got a whistle here and a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this 2nd quarter. The Steelers send out their punter now. Christian McCaffrey deep for Carolina. And last week in the loss, 5 punts as he gets this one away. Fair catch signaled for and taken at about the 15-yard line. That'll go for only 17 yards on the punt. And the Panthers will have a 1st and 10 from deep in their own territory. They start on the ground with McCaffrey. And he'll take this up only to about his 18-yard line. A gain of 3, 2nd down.
Not much happening there on 1st down.
I thought there might have been a hole for a split second.
Yeah, but it dried up pretty quickly, didn't it? Closed fast.
Again, they run. Again, it's McCaffrey. Trying to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage. And no more. No gain on the play, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down. Kind of running there at your own risk against that 4-3 and that big line, aren't you?
Yeah, and I don't really run it against a good 4-3 team that well because I've got to get those guys on the move a little bit. If you're a static running team, meaning you just want to run it in the middle, you may have some trouble against good defensive tackles. That's what we just saw in that play. No gain. Hey, partner, anytime someone tells me their fundamentals are leaving the game, I'm going to show them this play because they couldn't get to the passer. So what do you have to do? Get your hands up in the passing lane, and they batted it away on a 3rd down attempt.
Here's the Panthers punter now as he's on to punt for the first time tonight. He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. Fielded at the 20. They'll call that a punt of 59 yards. Tough to do better than that. And the Steelers will go on offense here, 1st and 10. And the Steelers set to take the field. And things haven't started so well for this side. 2 drives, 2 punts.
So now you've got to start looking not just at play calling, but which guy's going to step forward and say, okay, let's get this thing done. Because within that unit of 11, sometimes one guy can make a big-time play and break through the barrier.
And he'll be tackled just past the 35 at the 36. He'll get a nice chunk there on the 1st down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
He hasn't had a ton of success here so far, but you get the feeling that he might be on the verge of popping one.
Yeah, even on that one, there was a little bit of a hole, but it closed there quickly at the end.
Let's go.
They'll keep it on the ground. Adams. And this time not as successful as he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more. Call it no gain that time as it's going to leave him with a third and about 3 to go. The Steelers on third down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This time it's 3rd and 3.
Hurry up, here we go. 3.
Now they'll run it on the toss. That is not going to be any help as they dump him behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of a full 3 yards, and it brings up 4th down.
Luke Kuechly combines speed, intelligence, toughness, puts it all together. It makes plays like the one we just saw there. He may not be a big-time blitzer, but, boy, he knows how to pursue straight ahead and make plays in the run game.
And a fair catch taken back near about the 35, 36-yard line. Officially just 27 yards there on the punt. Carolina getting set to take the field. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. They give them 13 yards there on the play and a fresh set of downs.
Now, this is an example of breaking down a defense because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
They'll fake the handoff. Now Newton. And the Steeler pressure too much here. He's going to go down.
Oh, my goodness. Was that a defensive back that got to him with the pressure?
Oh, look at the former defensive back. You're all smiles up here.
I hope everybody can hear my smile on that play.
Now a toss. This is McCaffrey. He can't get him down. The Red Sea parts, and there he goes. Touchdown, Carolina. A big play there. On his way to a monster game. 3 first-half touchdowns. And the Panthers add on to their lead. And this is becoming quite the half he's had here.
Remember in our pregame meetings, they talked about wanting to run the football and staying with it. Well, when you're scoring this many touchdowns, there's no reason to go away from it, is there? They are off to a fantastic start. They hope it continues.
3 already for it. So they only needed 3 plays on that drive. And the last play on the drive, the touchdown run from Christian McCaffrey. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no thought to bring this one out. He'll just go down to a knee, and they'll take over at the 25. Now we get a peek at the captain of this offense heading back out there. In the second quarter, they're down big already. He's struggling as well. They've got to find something here. He's got to find something on this drive.
And sometimes you take on all that extra pressure on yourself, and maybe you have to disperse it a little bit. Lean on some other people, lean on your teammates, find someone who can take the pressure off and get the ball in their hands for a while.
Or this, if he doesn't, this is getting out of hand, or it could get worse. And he'll wind up with about 6, up past the 30 to the 31.
Offensive linemen love creating space for their guys carrying the ball, but when that guy also breaks tackles and creates extra yardage, they almost feel like he's one of them, and they really embrace it.
2 minutes remain here in the first half. We remind you that coming up at halftime, Larry Ridley will have the highlights and analysis of this first half from our studios in Orlando.
And I have a fairly solid idea about which team will be featured prominently in those highlights.
Might be a little biased. It's a 9-yard gain, and it keeps the drive moving.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
All right, here we go. Green, 39.
On first down, he'll drop to throw. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
But one thing that I've liked defensively is that they've shown him a lot of different looks here in the first half. They've come after him. They've sat back. I think that's what you need to do to keep an offense guessing.
And they certainly have kept them on their toes. That's why they haven't had much success on the scoreboard. Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. And he comes back with one complete. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. The Steelers able to pick up 18 yards there. He'll look to throw. He'll rifle this one deep right. This is caught inside the 15. And he gets this one all the way down inside the 15. He got 29 yards that time. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. And an incomplete pass. That'll stop the clock here with just under a minute to play in half number 1.
I tell you, Brandon, this defense is playing with some confidence. Haven't allowed a point yet. Flying to the football. I'm telling you, it's almost 11 to the ball on every snap. Another nice job there to force an incompletion.
Here we go now.
First carry for James Conner. And they'll lose yardage here. They go backwards to the 13-yard line. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that'll bring up a 3rd and 11 situation.
Count me as a little bit surprised by what we just saw there, because this has been a pretty long drive, and normally you think that wears down a defense. In this case, looked like...
Now the pressure gets there, and he goes down just inside the 20 at the 19. And now we get a timeout called on the defensive side of the ball by the Panthers. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. The defense, they got a little bit of a breather. Now they're back and set as we resume play. And his kick is good. And the deficit drops now from 21 down to 18. So a field goal here, they're still down, but they put a dent into that lead before the break.
And that's got to feel good, because now they've seen that they can put some more points on the board, and that gives them a whole second half to get back to where they want to be, and that's in the lead.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. It's a short kick, taken at the 15. And they'll be set up pretty nicely here as they have it up to the 35-yard line. Out comes Christian McCaffrey with the rest of the offense. Might he be on his way to a record-setting performance here, Charles? 2nd quarter, and the yardage number already ridiculous.
And they always talk about just focusing on the next play. But sometimes it's okay to dream big, because
I'm focusing on the 4th quarter already.
Listen, I don't blame you, though, because we could be witnessing some type of history here, and it's being done by him and, of course, the big guys up front who are creating the holes for him to run through.
Yeah, they've all been good so far. Draw play as Newton gives to McCaffrey. And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49. Now the Panthers going to signal for their 3rd and final timeout, as the clock will stop with 18 seconds to go in the first half. to the ground on first. It's McCaffrey. And for one of the first times tonight, he's going to be held up at the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be second down. Big boys down there in the trenches, and a nice play to stop them cold. Nothing there.
Yeah, when you talk about big boys, you're talking about those defensive tackles, those nose tackles. They're not just big, they're immense. And what a big-time play there.
And they line up now for what will likely be the last play of the first half. So we come upon halftime. And before we could even hear from Larry, we're back and ready to go in Week 5. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. Fairly short kick, taken at the 14 here. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. The Steeler offense now with a football first here to begin the third quarter. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there. But this is I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the second half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for them. Now back to throw. And they can't get the long connection as it falls incomplete. Juju Smith-Schuster, the intended receiver, and it's third down.
And attempted a deep ball there. They didn't get it. But, boy, they're going to need a few of those to actually hit in order to get back into this game.
Good thing they do have a little bit of time here still left in the contest. Decent-sized deficit, but not one that they can't manage. Now the backup, A.J. McCarron. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
And we're into the second half now, and this is an offense that continues to struggle to sustain a drive.
Looks like they're just totally out of sync, whether they're running the ball, passing the ball like we saw there. I don't know. The rhythm seems off. And he puts a little something extra into this one, by far his best of the night. And this one hits at the 3 and then bounds into the end zone for a touchback. The Panthers offense now, they head back on the field for their first possession of the second half. They were able to get the ball back here, didn't surrender any points. Now they'll look to add to that lead.
Now, how about the boost the defense gave them? Going right out on the field, shutting them down, not giving up any points, and turning the ball back over. They want to do their part now and show them a little respect and some gratitude by scoring some points.
And to get a little more cushion. Give them 12 yards on that one. It earns them a fresh set of downs.
It's funny when I go back to our pregame meeting with Amari Cooper and we mentioned, what they play man coverage against you. He almost seemed offended by it, didn't he?
I'll beat it. That's basically what it said, right?
I mean, the best receivers.
A big seam, and he might go all the way. Touchdown, Carolina. A great play there. 68 yards. And the Panthers add on to their lead. And that rushing touchdown, his fourth, puts him just one shy of the NFL record in a single game.
And we all know he would love to get to that record and even beyond it. But he doesn't need to in order to impress in this one, does he? What a performance. What an absolute great game that he's had here in this one.
The quick strike ability certainly intact there. 2 plays, 80 yards to score it. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. Short kick here, fielded about the 17. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. And now out come the Steelers. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points. Big time. And he is down deep into Carolina territory. It's a big play there for the Steelers. 54 yards.
There will always be a place for methodically marching the ball downfield. But when you can pick it up in big chunks and strike like that, have explosive plays, that's often the difference in winning and losing. Those types of plays that can knock a defense off balance, that'll drive a team towards a victory.
So the offense lining up 1st and 10. The play clock's running down. They'll run on 1st down. Adams. And he goes backwards here, losing yardage back to the 16. Call it a loss of 2 on the play. And that'll make it 2nd and 12. Make it now 3 tackles for a loss in this game, 1 for each quarter.
And for a guy who played defense in college, I can just tell you that he's feeling very satisfied right now by what he's doing. But he's elated because he knows what he's doing is helping his team win the game right now. Making some big-time plays, getting into the offense's backfield and spilling everything.
Juju Smith-Schuster, the intended receiver that time. And that'll make it 3rd down. Play clock winding down. The Steelers on 3rd down. They've had their troubles, just 1 for 6. This is 3rd down and 12.
Delay of game, offense.
He didn't even try to signal for a timeout, so they must have not been aware of the numbers.
I think he lost track of the time left in the play clock and probably was trying to read the defense and trying to figure out which play to run and just lost track, and it cost him.
McCarron now on the bootleg. Forced out to his left. Oh, you saw that one coming. It's intercepted. Thrown back across his body. It's the Pro Bowler Luke Kuechly that picks it.
I think that interception happened for 2 reasons. Quarterback gets outside the pocket and panics a little bit, and receiver doesn't make sure he's absolutely in an open spot. So there's a guy lurking, took the ball from him.
Yeah, so don't wave your arms, right, as a receiver if you're not wide open.
Got to know that you're open. Otherwise, just don't do it.
The Panthers offense here, they get ready to head back on the field. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
The drive begins with a run by McCaffrey. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. It'll be a loss of 1, and it'll be 2nd and 11.
But that certainly felt like an example of the defense just saying, okay, we've had enough. We've gotten mashed all night long. About time we got a good play in. But flip it over to the offensive side. They've got to be really upset that they allowed a play like that to happen. They were pitching such a great game, they want to keep it going.
And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line.
He's had a big game tonight, and while no one's going to be overly concerned about that last play, you also know that the offense coordinator does not want to see that happen again. They want to get back to doing what they've been doing all game long.
Third and long, it's Newton. And they'll get him down right at around the 11-yard line. Call it a 3-yard gain, and that'll bring up 4th down. Here's the Panthers punter now. On for his second punt. He'd take a repeat of his first. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. Fielded at the 43. Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And the Steeler offense, they're set up nicely as they take over. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the inning, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part two, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
And a nice gain of 21 yards. And he's been one of their few bright spots here this afternoon.
And as you pointed out, so far he's gotten his. That's not been the issue at all. But the teammates, the other guys, they've been shut down. That's why the defensive guys have to feel pretty good, even though he's over 100 yards.
Yeah, he topped 100 with that last catch. And they still need 8 yards for the first here on second down. A.J. McCarron looking to throw. And that'll be incomplete.
Let's face it, if you want to get back into the game, these are the kind of throws you got to hit. He's wide open right there. Got to be able to get it to him, don't you think?
And those are the throws that haven't been available to them every time he's dropped a pass. Yeah, that's a big miss. And the Steelers on third down. It's been a problem. Just 1 for 7 thus far. This is 3rd and 8.
Now let's go. Over.
Now a give right side. Adams. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. And a loss of 3 to bring up 4th.
It's real easy to say this running game needs to be better, but the reality is they've been given little time to actually find a place to run the football. It's almost like the defense is there on the handoff.
And that is no good. And this score will stay right where it is.
I tell you, it's not easy kicking field goals in the best of conditions. Yet in a downpour like we're in right now, it makes it that much harder. And sure enough, they can't convert here.
Out comes Christian McCaffrey with the rest of the offense. He has been a touchdown machine. It has been enjoyable to watch.
And the scoreboard continues to light up as a result of his efforts. He's been a blast, though. Every time you look up, you just figure if he's got the ball in his hands, he's going to end up in the end zone. It's been that kind of a game for him.
Absolutely. Now you just keep waiting for more. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line.
Well, you had to punt on your first drive, and on the first play of the second drive, you end up going backwards. I would dare say they need something good to happen right here, right now.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be tackled just past the 35 at the 36. It'll be a gain of 5, and it's going to bring up a third and about 7 left.
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
The Panthers on third down. 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This is 3rd and 7. Out of the gun, Newton. Throw left side. McCaffrey's got it. And he takes it down deep into Pittsburgh territory. A big play there on the catch and run. And even 50 yards.
After that nice game there, for the rest of the game, the defense is going to have to respect the running backs as passing threats as well. Not just play them strictly to run the football. They may be able to get downfield and catch it too.
Back now in Pittsburgh. A lot of folks starting to make their way to the parking lot. Their guys trail big here to begin quarter number 4. From the red zone now, Newton. And he is out of bounds, getting it down to the 10. It's a 4-yard pickup, and it'll be a 2nd down. Out of the pistol, McCaffrey. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. They'll wind up losing 4 yards on the play. And that's going to make it 3rd down and 10.
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the 4th quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there, and now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow him down.
And he goes backwards here, losing yardage back to the 16. Finally, defensively, they have a little clip to show positive for actually stopping him running the football.
It's been a really long night for them, hasn't it? So they got a little bit of a win there, but let's face it, the vision that he's had running the football has carried his feet to the open spaces and the big yardage all night long.
Now here's the Panthers special teams unit to try a field goal for 3. A 33-yarder from the left hash. And his kick is good. And their lead will swell up to 28. So it's 3 more points, and that widens things out even further here in the 4th.
Hey, in this league, you can never have too much. So if you're in range, grab the 3 whenever you can.
And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. And the last time that they were on the field, a little demoralizing. Missed field goal. You know, always feel like you want to get it in the end zone, but then, oh, well, at least we're going to get 3. Didn't go through the goalpost. So
it does test the mental processes of a team, though, doesn't it? Because when you miss a field goal, it's amazing how fast they want to turn on the guy kicking the ball. But you need to keep his confidence up because how many times have we seen games where it comes down to the stretch? And guess what? You need that guy to make the big kick for your team to move on or to win a game. Make sure you keep him happy. Make sure you keep him comfortable.
I'm sure you always treated the kicker nicely, though, right?
You know, truthfully, I did.
Good.
I always did because those guys, they won us a whole lot of games.
Trying to bounce it outside, but he's only able to get it back to the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down. And this defense continues to give them fits. They just can't get really anything going on the ground, can they?
I love the theme that you just brought up. This defense has been tough all game long against the run. We just saw another example of it there.
Incomplete. He had his hands on it, but couldn't pick it. But it's now 4th down.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, 4th quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. They'll need to get the play off quickly. Boy, and now they can't even get a play off.
Delayed game offense.
That's going to set them back 5 yards. The Steelers send out their punter now as he's on to punt for the 4th time tonight. It'll be 37 yards there on the punt. And the Panthers will take over now, 1st and 10. And onto the field, here come the Panthers. And they split the uprights last time for 3. They've got the lead. They're not going to play this conservative. They're not hoping for another field goal. They're hoping for a touchdown.
I'm with you on that one. I like where your head is. I like the way you're thinking because you're exactly right. Trying to sit on a lead and play that way, that doesn't work too well for most teams. Run your offense.
Yeah,
run what you do best. Exactly. Put it all the way down and try to increase your lead in a big way. And the best way to do it, touchdowns.
This is McCaffrey on the give. He'll get about 3 as he's brought down right around the 42.
But Brandon, pace comes into play now because they've got the advantage. They've got the football, but they've got to be very careful about what speed they're going to play. You know, my music teacher back in New Paltz, Mrs. Bythema Bagley, used to say, don't go prestissimo when you really want to go largo. And what she meant by that is don't go too fast when you really want to go at a nice, slow, deliberate pace.
I am speechless. I am without speech. Now a give, right side McCaffrey. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the fourth quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're just trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
He showed off a nice juke of the defender, but the next wave there to bring him down. Give him 3 yards there as that'll take us to 4th down.
So where'd all that running room that he had in the first half go? Because it looks like it's drying up a little bit here. Someone made some adjustments, it appears, at least on this drive.
Here's the Panthers punter now, as he'll come on to kick this one away. His first punt, 45 yards. This looks good as well. Now this is fielded in the end zone. Oh, and now he bowls him over. Nice job bringing that one back. 14 on the return. And the Steelers are going to take over 1st and 10 deep in their own territory. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
Well, you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
And his throw is incomplete. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better. And
all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
On 2nd down, Adams. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this across the 25-yard line. The Steelers picking up 15 yards there and a 1st down.
Now, that run is one to build on, and I know it sounds like a cliche and it seems like a simple thing, but truthfully, coaches are always looking for something to pull out of a tough day. And right now, this team has had one of those. So that run there, I guarantee that's a clip and save as they move forward and look towards the next game. And he'll tell his team, this is what we're looking for. This is what we planned for. Let's have more of this to start games as opposed to getting it at the end. Well, partner, I guess sometimes it's just a matter of philosophy. Some say run until they absolutely stop you, and others say, well, when you think they're about to stop you, fool them a little bit. I guess they should have tried to fool them on that play.
Getting late in the 4th now, Charles. 2-minute warning just around the corner.
Yeah, some teams just want to get to that spot, take a breath, and then come out and attack for the rest of the game.
Time for a break. Back to finish it off on EA Sports after this. So the Steelers with the football as we get you reset. They're looking at 2nd down now as they search for a consolation score. It's already 2nd and 12. The defense hoping to push them back more. Shotgun snap for McCarron. And this one caught by Hunter over the middle. And a loose football. And it's picked up by the Panthers. And he is not quite going to make it all the way in. They'll mark him down right about the 1-yard line.
All right, you've had to put up with me in this booth. I'm going to try and be simple this time and succinct. It simply has not been their night.
No, I think that fumble's kind of indicative of how this whole evening's gone, isn't it?
Without a doubt. I mean, they've tried, but nothing has ever really taken throughout the game. That's why they're down so big.
Throwing here, Newton. And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals. So another score there, and often you talk about the three phases of the game. Defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game. And privately, the head coach will add a fourth phase. That's the coaching. And he'll tell the ownership that as he tries to negotiate a new contract off of this win.
They are looking strong here in the fourth quarter. Well, they got the ball in great field position. One play later, boom, end zone. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in a game like this, and you knew it was lost.
And the ball is knocked out, and it's picked up by the Panthers. And I don't know that that fumble is going to matter a whole lot. You look at the deficit here in the fourth, it doesn't matter. The coach on the sideline still scratching his head.
Yeah, not only scratching his head, but probably writing a note or two about, we're going to address this come practice next week, because maybe that's the reason we're down this far. Doesn't matter at this point, but being sloppy throughout the game, not going to help him improve.
And for one of the first times tonight, he's going to be held up at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. It'll be second down.
Well, he didn't make headway on that one, but he's had plenty of carries all night long. I just wonder if maybe he's a little bit tired from tilting the rock that much.
$10 yards still left on second down. A handoff, McCaffrey running right. And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30. Give him 10 yards on that one, and that'll earn him a fresh set of downs.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the fourth as it was way back in the first, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
They'll give it up to McCaffrey. And he'll take this inside the 30 to about the 29, maybe the 28-yard line. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8. Well, Charles, the forecast called for rain throughout the entire game, and we got rain throughout the entire game. But these two teams, they had fun getting dirty out there. They love the slop.
Did you trust the forecast ahead of time? Are you one of those guys that's skeptical about it, or did you trust it?
But when I saw just a big blob of green on the radar, I said, okay, let's trust.
Yeah, and that's why I'm glad you took my advice. Got your notes laminated, because, you know, open-air booth, that rain can affect us as well, although not as much as the guys on the field. But let's face it, it's kind of fun to watch these types of games, isn't it?
It is. By the way, how impressive is it that you travel with a laminator?